Hello, my name is Julia. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and giving me the opportunity to do this take-home exam. I'm just going to get right to it. So this is a site that I created. The main structure of it is on the left-hand side, it's going to be all the user input. And then we have the chart on the right, which will interactively change based on the user input. So when you first go to the page, there will be these default values, but you can change them. So suppose I want to put age 20. When I click enter, the graph will automatically change. I can do that for my income and so forth. So the axes and the age will change automatically. And the chart has three different categories: the contribution of the user, the employer match, and the investment returns. And when you toggle over the chart, for any given age, it's going to tell you the amount of each category and the total of it. The dollar and percentage selection as required from the instructions is here. And I made it easy for the user to change their input with this slider, but they can also manually type it in if they want to. Um, and I have just an overall annual summary down here. I am now going to speak a little bit more about the structure. This is my README file, but ignore just the code. This is just an online compiler. So my tech stack, I used Vue 3. The reason why I used Vue is it's usually a bit more appropriate for small to medium programs, and this is a pretty small scale take-home exam, so I thought that was apt. And then I use the Prime Vue library, which is obviously compatible with Vue, and it just makes the design process a lot more streamlined. And I use Chart. And I also just used basic styling in my CSS file. And I have all these dependencies. What I want to show you is the main structure. So I have my style CSS file, and then in my components, I have all of these different components. And the way that I decided on what file to make is depending on the input that we get from the user or the specific feature of the input that we are trying to create. So for example, we have it like the age and salary or return rate, but we have two different files for the contribution because I wanted to implement the percentage and dollar amount selection as well as the slider. And the reason why I split it up in this way is so that it's a little bit more intuitive for any user to understand what all these files are for. And if we needed to debug or change any of these files, it's really straightforward. And there are not that many dependencies that will affect other areas of the system. But what I do want to mention is different types of other implementations I would have added if I had the time. One is I would have chosen side-by-side comparisons depending on what the user inputs. So instead of just one setting, maybe we can have another option where they can have different inputs depending on what they want to project and see how that changes the chart and their balance over time. I also would want to compare the difference between a traditional 401k as well as a Roth 401k. In that way, it'll cater to the employer clientele as well. I also wanted to talk about different scenarios. So, for example, instead of making the user select just a numerical number, have some kind of feature that indicates whether their approach is aggressive or conservative. So, if I were to do a 5% contribution, I think that is pretty standard or pretty conservative. But suppose that the user adds 15, that's pretty aggressive. So maybe instead of having them specify their exact percentage, I have different options of conservative to aggressive scale and choose accordingly. Those were some of the ideas that I have for further implementation. Thank you for watching this. I look forward to discussing with whomever to get feedback. Thank you.